What is going on, Flyers fans? Welcome in to Clear the Ice with Big Al here tonight to take you in to the holiday break for the Philadelphia Flyers. What a friggin' crazy game it was tonight. Flyers lost 7-6 in the shootout, but that's not the story of the game. I'm not much for I don't know, moral victories. A win is a win, a loss is a loss, a point is a point, and we'll get to that in a second. But the Flyers lost 7-6 in the shootout to the Red Wings. Yeah, 7-6 hockey game is not a score you often hear, especially when the team, the Flyers, that is, was down 5-1 after the first period. That's you heard that right, 5-1. So a lot of people tuning in right now might be like, "Well, I turned the game off. Why would I keep watching it? Why the hell would I watch that game? They're down 5-1." Well, I'll tell you why. Because the Flyers did take, being down 5-1 early, after just one period when there's still two periods of hockey to play. Um, these are the kind of things you want. This is the resilience you want to see from this team. We've been talking about this for some time now, about the different, um, the young, the grittiness, the attitude of this team. And these are the kind of things that you want to see in a team that's growing in the right direction because, like, again, not about the moral victories, but Carter Hart hasn't played since I think December 9th. He's in the net tonight. Not the greatest of Carter Hart nights, but if you take chunks of the game, he looks amazing. First period, throw it out. It was a pretty damn good game for Carter Hart. Um, but ultimately, they lose in the shootout. We'll go through. We'll break that down. We'll go through all that. Daniel Berry, what's going on, brother? Always good to hear from you. And I'm going to take you in with the last Fightins final until about, I think that's next. Or not Fightins final. I'm sorry, that's Phillies. Clear the ice until about next Thursday, I guess. So give you time to enjoy some the holidays with your family. So the NHL will be off for their little break, and so will we from the Clear the Ice. But there'll be plenty of stuff going on here at EOP. And I want to thank you guys for joining us and making this an amazing year. 6 years, to be honest with you. We just celebrated our 6-year anniversary yesterday. So thank you guys for making EOP awesome as it continues to grow because of the great people out here who follow us. So thank you guys. And remember to share, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Mom, brother, sister, father, you name it, any sports fan, that EOP brings it every day. But guys, remind you that this is brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com. That's right, Philly Sports Trips. For you hockey nuts guys getting back into the Flyers, getting that Flyers juices surging. What a great it's December 22nd. I keep telling you guys, you got a few days left. If you missed a present for somebody, you've been looking for like the kind of hard to get present, you didn't know where to go to PhillySportsTrips.com. You don't have to leave your house, you don't have to wait for delivery. All you have to do is find it, print it out, throw it in the card, and bing bang boom. There you go. Great present. Go up to the MetLife outdoor stadium game against the Devils. It's the price is just amazing for the trip, for the bus, for the ticket, for the food, for the experience. Just go, and you'll probably see me there because it is an amazing time with PhillySportsTrips.com. If you want to get them a present, maybe something a little warmer, maybe spring training events. They have plenty of them at PhillySportsTrips.com. And don't forget, they have the Giants game coming up at the end of this year, the last game of the season. Not this one at Christmas, of course, but the one in January. And if you really like somebody, you want to give a great present, get them over to London and watch the Phillies take on the Mets in June. They still have some great packages left, but check out PhillySportsTrips.com. So let's get into it. Let's go in the first period, which would make most people walk away from this game. Kind of gave you the feeling of the Flyers of the last few years. And I put out there, I'm like, oh, the Flyers are down 5-1 in the first period, and people are like, oh, Flyers came back down to earth. Well, maybe the Flyers aren't. Maybe their earth that they live on isn't as bad as we all think it is. So let's go through this. Patrick Kane, yes, the man everybody knows, Patrick Kane. He starts the scoring off for Detroit. Not just one, but two goals in the first period, and that would start off keeping the Phils down to where and then Bobby Brink. Here comes Bobby Brink. Young Bobby Brink, man, I can't say enough about this guy. I just love Bobby Brink. But here he comes saying, you know what, we're not done yet. The Flyers, we're here. He responds, puts the puck on the net after a breakaway pass from Joel Farabee. and doesn't get all his power on it. Kind of like I don't like semi fans it, and the puck just kind of went just kind of glazed right over between the arm pad and the thigh pad of Reimer, the goalie for Detroit. Puts the goal in, and right, all right, it's 2-1. He cut it down in half. Flyers are feeling good about themselves. Well, that's not going to be the way the rest of the first intermission goes. Sprong redirects a puck right past Carter Hart. And then about 30 seconds later, Confer, he adds into the scoring with it was a weird situation. Carter Hart's kind of sprawled out on the ice, kind of thought the puck was underneath him. It comes loose. Bing Comfort puts it right in. And then former Flyer Shane Gossesphere gets it on the scoring right, like with seconds left, less than 30 seconds left in the first period. Patrick Kane puts the puck on the goal. Gossesphere redirects it. Boom, 5-1 going into the intermission, the first intermission, and I'm sure a lot of people turn their TV sets off, put their phones away, stop checking the score unless you're getting those automatic score updates because maybe that made you turn it back on. But if you weren't looking at that, you probably went to bed or you want to go do something else with it being this close to Christmas. Like, I'm not sitting and watching this. You'll be sorry that you did. Even though, like I said, even though I'm not much for moral victories, but this young team showed a ton of heart. And you'll hear everything I'm telling you. You can read it more if you want to get more of the nitty gritty of it on our website, eopsports.com. I wrote an article about it during the game. So going in the second period, this Flyers needed a spark and it needed it bad. And where they got that spark from? Nick Seeler. So there was a altercation with Nick Seeler between him and Fisher. Fisher comes up, puts a big hit on him, and instigates a fight. And with that fight, there's two go at it, and you're going to think, probably get 2 5-minute penalties offsetting each other. And then they make the announcement. 2 minutes for Detroit and the major for Seeler, and Seeler loses it. I mean, and rightfully so. Like, normally, like, all right, dude, you got to keep your calm, cool, and collectedness. You can't put the team any further behind than they already are, especially being down 5-1 at this point still in the second period. And then he just comes out, just screaming, gets ejected. He's out. And, of course, Torts wasn't having it. And like I said, you can check out my article. I just put it up there after this is over. You can see the video. I put a link for a Twitter video in there. You can see the altercation. I mean, like I said, you're looking at this, you figure this is offsetting penalties because, Fisher instigated the fight after getting a good hit from Seeler. It wasn't anything dirty. I'm not being biased as a Flyers fan. It wasn't anything dirty, but it, like I said, you would have thought offsetting. But boom, did they wake a sleeping giant? They did. The Flyers, here they come. The in-house announcers making the announcement of like all the penalties and everything that was going down. And then Travis Sanheim had something to do with every goal, but the goals didn't come for him. Coots redirects a shot from Travis Sanheim, and then just moments later, Morgan Frost does the same thing. Flyers are up now. Our Flyers are just down 5-3. It's a new game at this point. Only 2 goals down. They end the second period down 5-3. And you're like, okay, this team's got fight. Now you could feel the Red Wings being like kind of playing back a little bit, even though they're up. They're playing like they're down. And the Flyers took full advantage of this. You could see the goalie, Reimer. He was all over the place, and things that like what Carter Hart looked like in period 1, he looked like in period 2 and 3. But we'll get into it. Let's get to the third period. Before we do, like I said, guys, it is Christmas time, and you need something quick, easy, and great. Go to Sherry'sTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Sports, concerts, theater tickets, you name it, they got it. It's hard to get tickets. They're there. No hidden fees. The price you see on the screen is the price you're going to pay, and you save an additional 10% off using that great promo code EOP10. That's right. EOP10 will save you 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com. I don't care if you're from the Philly. Like, oh, I'm not in Philly. How am I? They have tickets for all over the country. Sherry'sTickets.com. Use that promo code EOP10 and save 10% off at Sherry's Tickets. So let's get to this third period. So again, I keep saying this. I feel like it's like a broken record, but I'm going to say it again. I'm not for moral victories, but like I said during the last post-game show, I came into this with very low expectations this year, and I then just wanted to see this team grow. Well, that's what I'm seeing today. They turned a negative that would be a no points going into the break into getting 1 point. And like I said, we'll get to that in a moment here. So let's go. So now we're in the third period. It's 5-3. Flyers are now back into this. And Garnet Hathaway joins the scoring. He redirects Scott Lawton's shot, 5-4. Red Wings are still up by 1, but things are really interesting. About around the 13-minute marker, Scott Lawton ties the game up, flicking a loose puck past Reimer, tying it all up at 5-5, and then Owen Tippett gives the Flyers their first lead. That was a great shot. Let me break that one down a little more for you. Breakaway goal. Puts a hard shot on goal, deflects off the pads. The goalie doesn't know where it's at. A couple of team players didn't know where it's at. Owen comes and cleans it up. Tippadelphia puts it in. Flyers are up now 6-5. There's only a few minutes left in the game. Looking good for the Flyers. But with just a little time left in regulation, Dylan Larkin puts in an amazing shot, by the way. Like, I can't blame Carter Hart for this one. This one is not on Carter Hart. He shoots this from behind the red line, okay? He was behind the net when they shot this puck off, and it just stuck in right between the pole of the net and, like, the skate and pad of Carter. I mean, you can't be any more pinpoint with that. I can't say he didn't I don't think he was aiming for that little slot, but he just put it on, those things. Just put the puck on net and things will happen. And that just shows you what to do. You just never give up. It's not the good guys, the bad guys got this one, but it was an amazing shot. Like, again, go check it out. I have to give him a lot of credit. So that's why I said I'm not on Carter Hart for that. He would have. I mean, it's kind of a burner. Flyers are up 6-5. Few minutes, just moments left in the game. You would have hoped to hold on, and what a comeback win that would be. Just an amazing win. But that didn't end that way. And with Larkin's goal at 6-6, they go into OT. OT. Nobody is able, of course, to finish it in OT, which brings to the shootout. Both goalies did an amazing job in overtime. Carter Hart, again, stopped some point blank range shots on him. Really, there's a couple times I thought this game was over at that point, but that wasn't it. Brings it to the shootout. Well, here we go. That's kind of where I guess Carter Hart still kind of is a little fledgling at times. Both Sean Couturier and Bobby Brink aren't able to put anything in goal. Lucas Raymond and then Patrick Kane put 2 shots in goal on OT, making it 7-6. Red Wings. Flyers lose, but they still get a point. And that's the key thing here. The Flyers still get a point on the night, which is really big. Now this season series is tied at 1 apiece. We won back 1-0 on December 16th. And then, of course, they won tonight, 7-6. And we'll see them one more time this year in Detroit on January 25th for the rubber match of the season series. But let's just go by the numbers here. I want to give you the guys the breakdown. Shots on goal favored the Flyers 4-3 because at the end they really turned it on. 43-37. Face off was pretty close to 49.3% to 50.7%, favoring Detroit. Again, power plays 0 for 2 for the Flyers, 1 for 3 for Detroit. penalty minutes because of the stacked up penalties from the Nick Sealer situation. 47 penalty minutes to the 15 penalty minutes for Red Wings. Block shots 18 for the Flyers, 12 for the Red Wings. I mean, they continue to block shots, and I'm sure Matty B was here. He'd be putting up the numbers and the stats for me, for you guys about that. But Matty B, speaking of, Matty B was doing color commentating for a smaller hockey league, not for the NHL, of course, tonight. So he wasn't able to join tonight. But he didn't, from what I tuned in and heard, did an amazing job. Nick's chiming in here. What's going on, Nick? That's what a playoff team does. This team does not quit. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, Nick. I mean, just here's a little early Christmas present for any Flyers fans or Philadelphia sports fans. A team that we expect at least a good solid 2 years of not being at the bottom of the barrel of the NHL. I don't like talking about playoffs in December, but the way these guys have resilience, I mean, to think they make a little playoff run in them would be nice to get a little playoff experience. I mean, anything's icing on the cake at this point because you're kind of playing with house money. And they have so many other great guys coming up. I mean, keep watching the videos of Cutter, of Mitchkoff, and all these young guys coming up. Erskine has been playing well, and they even have another couple goalies in the wings that could be really, really well do really well for this team. So Nick, yeah, sentiments, man. This is what a playoff team does. This is what a good team does. They fight. I'm not going to get into it, but the Eagles, whatever fight they used to have, it seemed to kind of cool off, or they need to reignite that spark, just like the Flyers needed tonight. The Flyers needed a spark a little bit, but it was the Nick. I mean, maybe it was just timing, but the Nick Sealer ejection and listen, the egregiousness of what happened with Nick Sealer, and the unfair. I know if Matty B's listening, this was an officiating giant screw up. I'm just going to put it out there. And you know what? I'm going to call David Archerry because somebody needs to get sued for this. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. David Archerry is your man to fight for your rights. 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com or call him again at 610-565-0300. I don't know if he knows much about hockey law. But no, it was egregious. Like I said, go to check out my article. You'll see I put a video up from Bleacher Report that I put out. Just kind of shows you the breakdown, the how it all played out. And I don't think I'm being biased at all. I think anybody watching, care if you're a Detroit fan, a Flyers fan, or just a fan of the game, you would look at that and be like, well, why wasn't it offsetting penalties? But hey, it is what it is. And the only power play goal, by the way, I forgot to mention, was from Sprong on Detroit. So giveaways were even at 4-4, and takeaways, Detroit had 3 to our 0. And that would be your that would be your breakdown right right there. Let's go to the box. I'm going to check some of the box scores, and I'll tell you why. Because the Flyers, it's the spread, like how they got involved. Let's go through this. Bobby Brink had a goal. Sean Couturier had a goal. Garnet Hathaway had a goal. Scott Lawton had a goal. Morgan Frost had a goal. Owen Tippett had a goal. 6 goals. Not one of them is from the same guys. This team spreads the wealth out. This team gets everybody involved, and they're just as excited if they score the goal or if somebody else scores the goal. That's the kind of fight, like Nick was just saying, from this team. That's the kind of attitude this team has. Go to the assist. You got an assist from Konechny, assist from Lawton, assist from Forster, 2 from Farabee, and 1 from Atkinson. So, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, all with a point or 2. So, plus minus was big tonight for them. Ice time, Konechny had the most. It looked like a 22. But guys, like I said, like I'm not going to get into the entire breakdown there and just read you the stat line. But like I really wanted to show you guys, what this Flyers team looked like. I forgot the other assists from Zamula, Sanheim, or 2 from Zamula, 2 from Sanheim, and one from York, and one from the Arista Lion. Like I said, very much spread out. Carter Hart was 30 for 20 or 25 for 30, and five of those goals came in. The five of those goals came in the first. He was 5 for 6 on the power play, um, and he his save percentage is up to .838. So, it was interesting. It was an interesting. It was interesting from John Tortorella in the sense that this is really what I found to be. I thought after that first intermission, Urson's coming in, or so whoever, somebody else was coming in. It wasn't going to be Hart. If you asked me, I'd put money on it. I did not think, but Hart came out. So maybe at first Tortorella's like, well, 5-1. We'll just see how this game plays out. I'm not going to put in another goalie. It's not like we have a, we're too far out, and then the scoring starts to happen. Now it's 5-3, and he kept them in there. And Carter Hart was playing much better in that second intermission, so he felt comfortable with doing it. And left them all the way into the shootout. Unfortunately, didn't play out in the shootout. But, Tortorella, kind of known to be a hothead, he stuck by his guy. He stuck by Carter Hart. His team stuck by Carter Hart. They rallied around Nick Seeler after he got bamboozled, I guess, is a good word for it, in that situation in the fight. But he ultimately, this, like I said, I keep saying this over and over again. I am not much for, why am I blanking? I'm not much for you know, I'm looking for wins and losses. That's what I'm looking for. This team might have lost, got a point. That's another thing. OT get a point. When they easily got nothing out of this game, and kind of went into the break, getting walloped and losing the night before. So it all kind of really did keep them moving forward. But this team just has fight, has grit. It's great to see. It's fun to watch. And again, I want to thank you guys, because this might be the last. I'll be back on air on Sunday for PM and AM with Pat and Mike. But it was, guys. This has been a great year so far. Like I said, clear the ice. We'll have a couple more, I guess, between now and the new year. But I want to miss you and your family. Have your holidays, Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being around with us. Thank you to our great sponsors, PhillySportsTrips.com, Sherry'sTickets.com, CherryInjuryLaw.com, and DolansBar.com. So check out Dolan's. What a great place. Tomorrow night, check them out. They're doing their dirty Christmas carols. It's a great time. Grab a beer, hang out with people, just laugh and sing. It sounds silly, but it is fun, and it is packed in there for it. There's always, and they have a new menu. I'm going to be putting up some new graphics for it this week with a new menu. Over at Dolan's, great food, great times, Quizzo music. You never knew who's going to walk through the door. I've been in there when there's a whole Flyers party. People from analysts, from that you all know, ex-Flyers, you name it, there is always a good time going on at Dolan's. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you for joining us. Again, happy holidays from all of us at Edge of Philly Sports. And guys, we'll see you after the holidays.